Hi, this is Anna London with Cyvergence, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about the security risks associated with no-code platforms. Building software using no-code solution providers has become increasingly popular due to its accessibility, speed, and reduced cost of development, right? However, just like any technology, it comes with its own set of security risks and considerations regarding intellectual property, ownership, right? Here's a breakdown today of these aspects, right? So let's talk about the first one, which is vendor lock-in. No-code platforms often operate on proprietary frameworks, okay? This means your application's functionality and security depend heavily on the platform's capabilities and updates. If the vendor doesn't prioritize security or if the platform ceases operations, your application could be at risk. Okay, the second security risk is limited customization for security. No-code platforms provide pre-built components that simplify development but can limit the ability to customize or harden security as per specific needs or emerging threats. The third security risk, and a big one, is data privacy and compliance, because these platforms often host your application and data on their servers, okay, and in other countries, right? Ensuring compliance with data protection regulations like GDPR or HIPAA, right, can be challenging if you do not have control over where and how your data is stored and processed. The fourth concern is shared resources. No-code solutions often use a multi-tenant architecture where multiple customers share the same infrastructure. And this setup can greatly increase the risk of data leakage or cross-site scripting attacks if not properly managed by the provider. The fifth concern is patch management and vulnerability response. Dependence on the platform for updates and patches can be a risk, a huge risk, actually, if the provider is slow to address vulnerabilities. This can greatly expose your application to exploitation if known vulnerabilities are not properly patched, and promptly patched. So let's talk about intellectual property, good old IP ownership, right? So a lot of startups are spinning up a lot of innovative software, integrating with a lot of no-code platforms because they figure, shortcut to success, to get something out there on the street, get a prototype or an MVP out there, get attraction, to potential investors and the like, okay? And of course, avoid the huge costs with actual developers, which know what they're doing, right? And can ensure your code is not only written robustly, but also securely, okay? But anyways, everybody wants to spin up. Everybody wants that shortcut to success, right? You have an idea, and you go to a new code component, and then boom, you want to spin something up right quick, okay? But let's talk about the IP ownership concerns, all right, with that, right? So the question of who owns the IP of software developed using a no-code platform can be complex and largely depends on the terms of service of the platform. Generally, okay, we're going to talk about a few common scenarios, right, and the risks of using no-code platforms as it pertains to IP ownership. So let's talk about user-generated content, because typically the user or the company using the platform owns the IP rights to the content they create, such as specific designs, unique functionalities, specific to their business processes, or any proprietary data they input, okay? The second is platform tools and elements. The tools, templates, and elements provided by the no-code platform usually remain the property of the platform, okay? This means that while you may own the specific application you built, the underlying software and tools used to build it are owned by the service provider, okay, that no-code service provider. And the third, of course, is export restrictions. Some platforms may allow you to export your application and host it independently, but this is not always the case. In many situations where exporting is not allowed, the dependency on the platform extends to continuous operation and management of the application, complicating the IP ownership and control, right? So let's talk about some recommendations. First of all, read the terms of service. Yes, that little contract that shows up on your phone before you start using it, or on your desktop, or in your development environment. Read it in its entirety, and definitely float that over to your attorney, okay? For a review before you even sign it or hit accept, because that's your enterprise user licensing agreement when you hit accept, okay, digitally, right? So read that terms of service, okay? Before committing to a no-code platform, carefully review their terms of service, particularly sections related to data security, data handling policies, and IP rights. Okay, the second recommendation is plan for data security and compliance. Engage with the platform provider to understand how they ensure data security and regulatory compliance is conducted, okay, and is implemented. Seek legal advice, okay, to ensure that using the platform will not infringe on compliance requirements relevant to your industry, right? So if you're a finance industry, you're heavily regulated. Government industries, heavily regulated, right? Health industries, heavily regulated, right? So all these have a huge impact on what and how, right, you use in order to, comply with regulatory compliance laws and a variety of things, right? Let's talk about backup and data export options. This is huge, and a lot of people don't even include this actually in their planning, okay? They just want to build it, put it out there, right? Make some money off of it, right? That's what everybody's hoping to do, right? But provide value, folks, right? And make sure you're doing it correctly and securely, right? You don't want a buggy platform, and you don't want a platform that is wrought with vulnerabilities that are going to put your users at risk, right? Ensure that you have options to back up your data, okay? Backup, and more backup, okay? And then export your applications, if possible, to avoid vendor lock-in and ensure business continuity in case you need to switch platforms. A lot of folks don't think about that. They don't take that in consideration, okay? Again, everybody wants the shortcut to success, the shortcut to get there, right? And everybody thinks they don't need a developer. They just say, okay, let me just use the no code. Let me take a few workshops and learn no code myself and then put something out there. But there's a lot involved. People just don't realize the software development and the system development lifecycle, right, of software. Ongoing releases, making sure they're secure and remain secure, remove the bugs, all these things, right? So, using no-code platforms can significantly accelerate development, yes, and reduce costs, yes. But weighing these benefits against the potential security and IP ownership risks is crucial for long-term success and stability, right? Use them, but use at your own risk. And remember, no-code is open source. So guess what? Who has access to open source? Yeah, pretty much everyone, okay? So anyways, with that said, this is Anna London with Cyvergence.ai, signing out.